Take2TV. Galvanizing, lyrical, soulful, captivating, entertaining. Take2TV. Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Good evening and welcome to this edition of Take2 Television. I know you have a choice, but in this 8 o'clock Eastern hour, you have chosen to join us, and I could not be more excited. One of the best interviews that I did when I was doing radio was with Mr. Troy Spry.
What's going on?
I just love him. This book, we're going to talk about this book. This book is called Teach Me How to Love. Why what you don't know is going to hurt you. Now, what I'm going to tell you that you may or may not know is I have given this book as a gift to so many people. Recently, I don't know if you get your book sales, but recently there should be a sale for 3 or 4 books. It is a must read, but don't believe me. Listen to Troy today and lots of things that we're going to talk about. But this one is, I think I want to say it's fire. All right, so let's get comfy.
Talk.
Let's just chill out and get comfortable. You know, one of the things that has really impressed me is you're relatively a young man.
Yeah.
And traditionally you think wisdom comes, this kind of wisdom, comes with a lot of age. So I would have expected, if I were predicting, that someone that has this much insight had to be at least 80.
Don't put that on me.
So, no, it's actually a compliment because the book is full of so much wisdom. I've read it myself 3 or 4 times, and I know that between the time that I saw you last, I've sent an email or a text message, you know, like, this is just crazy, but we're not going into my personal experiences. But in any event, I want to talk a little bit about what prompted you to write the book. Now, I know that, you know, your observation of your mom and how she loved was the motivation.
Yeah. So, first of all, thank you for sharing the book with so many people.
Yes, my pleasure.
I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. So, what really prompted me to write the book was, first and foremost, I kept seeing the same things on the dating scene and within relationships. But if you circle back to post, you know, me seeing those things, I think back to my mom and my father's relationship.
Right.
And everybody doesn't get the honor of seeing kind of both sides of a relationship, right? So I saw when it was really healthy, and then I saw when it wasn't so healthy. And so it kind of helped me really grasp both sides of it. When I think about our mom, when I talk about the epitome of love and selflessness, that was her. Right? I saw her love my father through seasons. I saw her love him unconditionally, right? But then I saw the other piece of it is, I think at times she probably struggled as a wife.
Yeah.
Right? To treat him as a priority. And so there are some things that when I got older, I look back and said, there were some things that she didn't do well either. You know, boys and their mom, they do no wrong. Right. But then you look back and you're like, man, there were some things that she probably could have done a lot better too.
A lot different. So I know that was really what started, you know, you on the path of being a relationship expert. And congratulations. You know, I've seen, you know, you're on TV and relationship coaching and things like that. And I think it's a great thing because it is a sticking point for a lot of people.
Yes.
So what happens when someone has not seen a positive relationship? Maybe the mother is not present or the father is not present or it's an abusive situation. How does a person find that right space in their relationship?
Yeah, so we are just the sum of our experiences, right? And so what we see is usually what we give at the end of the day. So you have to seek new information, right? So if what you're doing is not working,
now that's a tweak,
right? You need to seek new information. Right, and the other thing is seeking to understand too why some things are unhealthy. Sometimes we get caught up in this thing called, I call it normalized dysfunction, where we start to see things as normal, but they're really unhealthy. right? But if it's always if it's always hurting you, it's not love, right? But we don't tend to, and sometimes if that's normal for you, you just keep doing it over and over. So you got to break the cycle. The only way to break any cycle is new information and to do different things. And so that's what I always tell people. If you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same results. Mm-hmm. But if you seek new information, there might be another path.
So both people would need to do that, right?
Absolutely.
Be willing at least.
Oh yeah, I mean,
to seek new information.
Always takes two people. I mean, no one is always right.
Right.
No matter if you're a guy, a man, woman, no matter what it is, no one's always right. And I think that's the problem. We tend to spend more time blaming each other than we do seeking to understand each other. Right. And that's where the gap is.
Right. So let me ask you a question. I was listening to our radio interview. It's on my website, Take2now.net. And one of the things, I guess there were a couple people talking, and there was a question that was asked, and you didn't have the opportunity to speak. And you said, let me speak. This is one of the things that men don't have the opportunity to speak. So expound on that. That's a great point, right? So what I find is that a lot of women only want men to speak when it's convenient for them, right? So unpack that a little
so
bit.
Let's unpack that. So whenever it's comforting to you, whenever it's to edify you, whenever it's to confirm your bias or to confirm what you want to believe to be true, then it's okay for me to speak. But when I'm not confirming, when I'm giving you a disagreement maybe, or alternative, to what you might be thinking, then it's like, oh, shut him down, right? And so men grow up a lot of times not talking at all, not expressing themselves at all. And when that happens, what happens is y'all think we're not affectionate, or we don't express ourselves, men don't communicate. No, it's just that when he tried to communicate, he got shut down. And most men, they don't get shut down so many times before we say, I'm not saying anything.
So what about the tone of what you're saying? Yeah. Because, when I think about my own situations, it's not that I don't want to hear it. I don't necessarily like the delivery of it.
Absolutely.
So what about that?
So let's talk about evolution of communication. Right. And I think this is the thing. We're taught how to do a lot of things, but we're not taught how to love, and we're not necessarily taught how to communicate either. Right? And so there's an art and a skill to communication. Okay. And what we tend to see, especially as men, a lot of times, or even sometimes as women, is that confrontation is communication. And that's not. It's totally false. Right. Because if we can conflict with each other all day long, but what happens when you conflict with each other? Right. Defensiveness. And no one solves anything when there's defensiveness. That's right. That's right. Because
it feels like, it would work better just thinking about it conversationally.
Absolutely.
Right? Two people having a conversation about anything, right? Things that you agree on, things that you don't agree on. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to ask you, because, obviously talking to people in my life, women, getting the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, oh my gosh, I don't have a relationship. And one of the things that you talk about in the book is not moving so fast from here into the relationship. Yes. So how does that work?
Oh man, patience is something special. And the reason I say that is because, no matter what age you are, people still show up as their representative most times. Right?
Another tweet.
So people do
People show up their representative.
It's like if you went to a job interview, right? You go put your best foot forward. Yes. They're gonna see the best of you there, which is kind of odd because sometimes you still don't see a great part of somebody in the beginning, and you still go on with it, which tells me that you got some issues with letting go, right? And discernment, right? Discernment. And so I always say, patience will help you to really see who someone really is, not who you hope they would be. Yeah. Right.
And the other thing that I took from that is, a person is who they are for the most part. Yes. And, sometimes we make the mistake of thinking, I can fix this, I can tweak that, and then presto,
Presto,
I have a
yeah.
relationship. You know, and it just
It doesn't usually work out.
Yeah, it doesn't
It
usually
doesn't usually work out. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. That's what you. Well, see, the thing is, you got to get caught up in actions and not words.
Right.
Because many people are very good at talking and making you believe through what I'm saying, versus my actions are totally different than what I'm saying. But because you want to believe me so badly, you'll believe my mouth and not my actions, and then you come back and say, I was bamboozled, or I was fooled, or I'm like, no, you weren't. You just didn't watch.
Yeah, you didn't pay attention.
Absolutely.
They were looking at the representative.
That's what they were doing.
So it's wedding season.
Yes.
Right. And many cultures, I see marriage on the decline. What do you attribute that to?
It's a lot, man. I think the main thing is that the gender roles have shifted, right? And so before, marriage was looked at as kind of a business arrangement almost, right? Man comes, man provides, woman takes care of the house. It was like this business arrangement. And in many cultures, you still see it as a business arrangement. That's why you have arranged marriages, right? You have these instances where people set their son or daughter up with the heir to the throne or whatever it might be, right? So it's shifted now that women tend to be just as on the same level as men a lot of times, financially or career-wise, whatever it is. They don't need it marriage for what it used to need it for.
Security.
For the security of it. So now it's marriage is based on romantic love.
Right.
And we don't know how to necessarily navigate romantic love, especially once the lust is gone. So there's no skill set there. So that's why you see a lot of decline, a lot of increase in divorce. It used to be I couldn't leave because you were paying all the bills. Right? Now I can be like, I'm out of here. I'm out of here because I got my own money. Right?
Right.
So it's a shift in gender roles, and it's a tug of war. Also, there's not as much value placed on it like it used to be on marriage. Absolutely, there's not as much value placed on it because you saw a 50% divorce rate or whatever it might be. People started to think, well, maybe I don't need to do this. Which I'm kind of against that. And in my field of work, I always talk about better people, better mates, better relationships, better communities. Right? And so I really do believe strong units and strong family units and marriages help better communities. So I'm an advocate of marriage.
Yeah, no, I believe that as well. I mean, when you look in our communities, right, that you can see in many instances that the young generation in a lot of cases are really struggling with that.
Absolutely.
Struggling with I don't have a dad, or I don't have a mom, or you just hear some things. Even in a lot of the community work that I do. I was looking at a video last night, and it was of a young woman, and she was talking about because she had the opportunity to attend a community program, she now felt valued and worth because her home was in such disarray.
There you go.
So, but anyway.
Oh, it's true. Co-parenting is not the same as in-household parenting.
Right.
No matter how you try to put it, it's something about being a unit.
That's right.
That matters.
That's right. Absolutely. Online dating.
Yeah.
Because dating has changed.
It has shifted.
It's no longer boy meets girl. We go to the restaurant and I see somebody over there, they're winking or send over. Now online dating is really a big thing.
Absolutely. It's
So tell me about that. How is that successful? Because I have to be honest, I have heard some horror stories.
So what I would say is for as many horror stories as you've heard, I've heard success stories.
Okay.
Right? Because it's all about the mindset you have about online dating. So everything you said about girl meets boy, they wink, that stuff still happens.
Okay.
Right? What online dating does is simply expand your social circle.
Okay.
It expands your dating pool. It's how you manage online dating. Right? Which is what makes people scared of it or frustrated with it or whatever it might be. So it's all about how you look at online dating. If you look at it as an opportunity to meet more people, what's the other complaint you hear all the time? I can't meet anybody. So we got a whole vehicle right here that can allow you to meet thousands of people without leaving your house.
Right.
But you're telling me you can't meet anyone?
So what is the secret?
Oh, the secret
when
is
you're approaching online dating?
Yeah,
What's the
it's
secret?
my secret that I tell a lot of my clients is intentionality.
Okay.
You have to be just as if you were on a job search, right? You would spend a certain amount of time on it. You would invest in it. You would be more assertive about it.
Okay.
Same thing when you're looking for a mate. If you look at a lot of women, the women that have the most success online dating are the ones who make the first move, right? Who send the first message. Why? Because think about it. If not, you're just gonna get you're gonna get a bunch of messages from a bunch of random people. But if you go and seek, now all of a sudden you're going after the people who you find interesting, who you find attractive, who you find that you might be interested in.
Okay.
And so now your frustration level is a little less.
Okay.
Because you're not just fielding messages all day from random people. That's why one of the most successful sites is Bumble, right? Because that's where women have the power. They get to go and choose who they want to, swipe left or swipe right on.
Okay.
There's a mindset around that changes when you feel like you have more control.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of women that I've talked to that are uncomfortable with making the first move in online dating, and here's why.
Okay.
Because the Bible says,
oh, the Bible.
When a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. So now, talk to me about that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a great, scripture. I get it, right? Finding a wife is different than finding someone to go on a date with, right? So he still has to choose the wife.
Yeah.
So just because you reach out and we go on a date, if I still have to choose my wife.
Okay.
Right? So it's all about how you look at it. And let's be honest. Let's dig under that a little bit, though.
Okay.
The reason why they don't want to make the first move is because they fear rejection. It's not necessarily this.
True.
It's because I don't want to be rejected.
True.
That's the truth.
Okay.
It's easy to hide behind that statement, but you just don't want to be rejected.
Probably.
Yeah, which men deal with every day.
Every day. All right. So,
Yes.
tell us how you can get the book. If I want counseling, if our audience wants to talk more to you, let them know.
Oh,
I bought
man.
my book on Amazon.
She got her book. I want you to get your book.
Yeah.
You can go to Amazon or Kindle, right, and find Teach Me How to Love While What You Don't Know Will Hurt You. Or you can go simply to Teach Me How To, the number 2, love.com. And that's where you can see a lot of the different reviews. You can see where to buy the book. It's there. Everything you need is at teachmehowtolove.com.
Okay. Well, I am just so excited, to have the opportunity to sit down with you again. 30 minutes is just simply not enough time to go through all of the great points that you made.
Oh, yeah.
So buy the book, go to your website,
Yes.
and I think it's probably showing on the screen, but it is absolutely endorsed by Take2TV.
Yes.
So don't forget, tune in next Friday night, every Friday, Take2TV, 8 p.m. Eastern. You can find us on your Fire Stick, your Roku, Apple TV. You can go to WBNDTV.com, or you can go to my site, Take2Now.net. Thank you so much for joining, and have a fantastic weekend.
Take2TV. Galvanizing, lyrical, soulful, captivating, entertaining. Take2TV. Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. 30 minutes. Real life, real life, real life. Real life people, real life stories, real life victories. Only on WBNDTV.com, Fire Stick, Roku TV, and Apple TV. Take2TV.